Hello, everyone, welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 on Stitzer, Wisconsin here. Since last episode, I have been busy fast-forwarding time, and I know when that may sound like it is simple, keep in mind on this particular map, at least on my game anyway, whenever I fast-forward time through the night, we got to put up with, 20 to 30 minutes of hiccups and hang-ups and game lockups and freezes, and again, I mean, the game doesn't outright crash, but for like 20 or so minutes, it's pretty much unplayable because it hiccup. Yeah, it's pretty bad, right, everyone? So, anyway, we're now into the month of April. I think we were January last episode, if I remember correctly. So, just been skipping time here. And what I've found, at least when it comes to skipping time, when the whole freezing up, locking up issues happen, everyone, sleeping through the night using the normal Shift Z, the sleep mod there, not a good option, everyone, because you can get some really whacked out results, shall we say. You could sleep anywhere from 1 day to 5 days. It's kind of a crapshoot as like, okay, is it going to keep going or is it going to stop? You really don't know. So what I've found, if it's locking up like that, you're best off just make sure you go to the menu screen. This one. Yes, this one right here. And then you can control the time scale, right? Now, I do have the mod that lets me up the time scale beyond 120. I think 120 is the default, right? If I remember correctly, with Giants. With Giants, you can't go any faster than 120. But there are some mods out there that let you go quite a bit faster than 120. Like, significantly faster than 120. So I think I had it cranked up to like 1,000, I think it was. Got through the night, and then just let it keep going there. I was getting a little concerned there because I finally got to the month of April. It's like, oh crap, now I need to be able to stop it here. And at first it wasn't working, but then I just had to hit the pause, and then I was able to like, oh, okay, good. Now we're good. So stopped at 7:30 here. I think I tried to stop it at 6:30. I'm like, I'm gonna stop maybe just a little bit early. Normally, if you sleep through the night, it'll go to 8 o'clock in the morning, I think. But yeah. Anyway, we're going to start planting here this episode. Obviously, like I said, we're into the month of April. There's not really much of anything you can plant in March, so it's pretty much, well, April it is, because we can do oats, poplar, or oilseed. I guess I probably could have stopped and maybe done some oats. That might actually have been a good idea. We can still do oats yet, but can we do... No, we cannot do any sort of wheat, can we? We can do triticale. We might do some triticale. We'll see once. Not sure what we're all going to plant here yet. We'll figure that out. Starting off with some Pioneer soybeans here this episode. Planting them with our row crop planter. Looks like it's not the correct texture for this planter, but oh well. I think Giants made that more dependent on the crop you're planting than maybe necessarily the planter, I think. I could be wrong in how that works. I guess we'll have to switch over to corn and see what it does for corn, but I know some maps it just plain doesn't work, so whatever. Anyway, down on field 89. Oh, and by the way, obviously I finished selling all the crops here since last episode. Oh, I just noticed something. The vehicles are actually literally turning around down here. Huh. Never seen that before. Okay, well, anyway. That's where all the vehicles are going. They're going and turning around down there. But yeah, we're currently sitting at $1.3 million. And we'll have to see once. Maybe, I don't know, buy some more land on this map. We'll see once. You folks got any suggestions? Let me know. Throw them down in the comments there. We could potentially be looking at getting some more equipment here as well. If we do, though, I won't necessarily get any larger equipment. Again, we're going to try to stick a little more old school here on this series. So, I think we're pretty much there. John Deere 6,000 or 7,000. I'm sorry, John Deere 7,000 planter, 6-row. Planter actually is probably a little bit on the newer side. John Deere 7,000. Not sure how old the John Deere 7,000 is. I know it's been around for a while, but it is also a little bit on the newer side as far as I know. Got that being pulled by the wonderful John Deere 4020. I think we can probably almost safely say one of John Deere's more popular tractors, right? Now, here's a question for those of you watching. Of all the tractors John Deere's ever made, which one has John Deere made the most of? I'm just going to hazard a guess here and say the 40-20, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure you can't be a farmer unless you have a John Deere 40-20 sitting around somewhere. I think that's pretty much a requirement, isn't it, everyone? I think just about every farmer I know has, at least a one 40-20 sitting around somewhere. Some farmers maybe even have multiple 40-20s sitting around somewhere. Obviously, with farming operations nowadays, Evan, farming operations have gotten significantly better, so you're probably not necessarily, at least if you're a bigger farming operation, you're probably not out in the field with a 40-20 so much anymore, but, 40-20 might still be at home running grain backs or augers or belts, stuff like that, right? Pulling stuff here and there. Yeah, maybe got a tractor for grading out the driveway, that type of thing. Got all kinds of other field work going on here on the map at this point here as well. But let's maybe just, before we continue on here, see what else we got going on here. Let's see, actually, let's start back up by the farm here. Got fertilizer going on at field 78 here. Yeah, putting the old liquid crap down here. Yeah, the government promises they're going on pretty heavy over here, especially as of late, right? Oh, my goodness. Election's right around the corner here. Working over on field 93 here as well. Oh, wow, that's a white tractor. Finished spreading lime on this field. Also finished, I don't remember if we finished that last episode or not, but finished plowing this field here as well. Finished, let's see what's here. Yeah, so lime is finished, and now we're working on cultivating this field here. Looks like we're maybe half done or so. And again, I should probably do something about this edge, everyone. Suppose we can maybe do that now here before I forget. Let's head over to, once it's done saving anyway, our construction tools here. And if we do a little landscaping. Let's see, nope, that's the wrong corner. This one, there we go, that's where I need to be. Down in this area here. Just paint across that. And just kind of round it out here as well. Make it look kind of nice, right? Why not? We'll get rid of all this here as well. Unfortunately, again, as I've shown here, apparently something's not quite right with the field boundaries here, so you can't, unfortunately, actually farm this land here. It looks like it actually has a different texture there, doesn't it? That is literally all the options I have, so... Yep, I could do that, which we don't want to do that. Oh, well, I can see it looks like it's like a forest texture down there, but, got gravel. Yeah, at least, forest ground, I guess it's called, huh? Oh, maybe that's what you're supposed to do. Set it down to the smallest size here and just, paint a couple of those in there. Sure, look at that. Just all professional and whatnot. Some random clicking. Sure. Okay, that looks like it, right? Let's grab some plants here, put some grass on that. At least make it look like, somewhat nice here. Fortunately, even though I don't own the land, it does let me paint this here like this, so that's good. And that will remove that as part of this field here. I did debate about maybe like purchasing the land here again, but I think I showed this here already. Let's make sure a little bit right there. Yeah, that should be pretty good. Okay, we'll call that good. But I think I showed this already. If you look at this here, the part that's missing from the field is like this center section of the map. So it's not like actually any fields you have to buy one. It's all this stuff here, all like... Does it include the roads too? I think it even like includes the roads from the looks of it, stuff like that. And so And not to mention it's expensive too, valued at $6 million. So I would have to cheat in a significant sum of money to buy that. Not to mention there's probably some issues with buying that as well if I would have had a guess. So yeah, don't really want to buy that. I'm like, nah, I don't really want to touch that. So if it was another field, I'd be like, okay, yeah, we'll just cheat the money and buy that so we can work on the field, right? Or, well, hey, we got $1.3 million. Maybe we'll just legitimately buy the field. We'll actually farm the other field that's attached to it. But again, it's not an actual field that it is bordering. So, oh well. Speaking of fields, though, like I said, might look at maybe picking up another field here as well. I mean, if we're going to pick up some more fields here, that's a good question. Like, we got field 38 down here. It's actually not a bad price, $354,000. Got a big chunk back here. That comes with a couple of fields here, $910,000 for that. That's the thing with this map. There's a lot of big chunks for fields here, too. We got field 40, like, way out here. Wow. Talk about, that's a trip to get out that one. Might have to do that one. Might be fun, right? Harvesting way back in the 40 there. Oh, once we finish up a couple more headlands here, we'll probably set up some GPS on this field. See if we can make that work anyway. Might have to have a little custom angle here, though, from the looks of it. Again, GPS does not necessarily lend itself the greatest here on this map, but that doesn't mean we're not going to still try, right? And of course, speaking of GPS, Evan, Farming Simulator 25 again. We're getting closer, Evan. We are getting closer here. We are, let's see, looking at the time here, 15 days away, I think. I think we're 15 days away if I did the math correctly, Evan. So yeah, 15 days away. Farming Simulator 25, which of course has, and again, I'm going to kind of put this in quotes, Evan, but GPS built into it. Again, as I've said, I'm on the GPS I've seen that's built into it. I don't know. Well, I've got to use it myself. Let's put it that way. I'm going to have to use it myself, and I'll reserve judgment until that time. But, yeah, we'll leave it at that, Evan. We'll leave it at that. Okay, second headland almost finished here. I think we'll go for a third here. Usually, at least if I'm doing the driving, I usually consider 3 headlands usually pretty good. It depends on the size of the piece of equipment a little bit, maybe. You know, if we're running a John Deere DB120 or something like that, then, you know, 2 headlands might be sufficient. I mean, if you think about it, 2 headlands, that's what, 96 rows? That's a lot of headlands right there. You know, a lot of your farms maybe running maybe 24 to 36 rows worth of headlands. But you can plant more than that in just one pass with a John Deere DB120. And then not to mention, typically you're going to want at least 2 passes there, because turning around in the exact same space that it's the headlands in, ooh, that's a little tight there. I'll say, at least for myself, I don't think I've ever seen any planter larger than probably 24 rows in person. Obviously, you know, they have the 36 and 48 row planters available. 48 is as large as it gets here at this point, which I think that's probably large enough. At least for now, anyway, right? Again, 48 rows, 120 feet wide, hence the name John Deere DB120. 120 feet of planting goodness, shall we say. So, yeah, again, at least around where I live, it's typically right around that 12-foot mark there. 12 row mark, I should say, I'm sorry. 12 rows. Like I said, the occasional farmer that uses something bigger, you don't really see the 16 rows quite so much anymore. It used to be for a while, though, those are a little bit on the popular side. But those seem to be not quite as common anymore. Gone more to, like I said, 12 row or 24 row. Do still see occasional, I think it's 18 row. Again, the 16 row, at least, Evan, if you're doing the math on that. As I've said many times before on this channel, a lot of farmers like to match their header sizes with their planter sizes. Or a multiple thereof, right? So if you got a 6-row planter, you're probably running a 6-row head on your combine. Or if, in the case of maybe the 16-row planter, most farmers probably aren't running a 16-row head on their combines. You'll need a large combine for that, right? What they're probably running instead is they probably have an 8-row. So 16 rows on the planter, 8 rows on the combine. So you got to make 2 passes for every 1 pass that the planter had to make. Okay, now that we're almost done to the 7, like I said, we might just record an A-B line here. We tried that a while back. For those who remember when we first kind of started this series, I was going to record an A-B line. I forgot to turn off one very important setting, and I don't remember if I realized it during the episode or if it was maybe afterwards in the comments, but yeah, when you're recording custom angles and or even setting custom angles for that matter, you really need to turn off the snap terrain angle, otherwise yeah, it still won't work right for you. And speaking of not working, by the way, I should probably get this 50-20 off the field here with the lime spreader. Speaking of the 50-20, by the way. Suspicious, someone. Very, very suspicious. Also, interestingly enough, apparently the rest of the tractor is not dirty, from what I can tell, of course. Anything else that's really got dirty. But the hood, what in the world has happened to that hood? It is like, oh my goodness. That hood is just gone. The hood makes up for the entire lack of dirt on the entire rest of the model. I mean, it's like, what in, yeah. I don't know. How mod authors can release stuff like that, I do not comprehend. Again, it shows right inside a giant set when you open up the mod, you can see that it's going to do that. So, like, again, there are 0 excuses for that. There's none. Again, Giants Editor shows you, like, oh, that's not good. So, yeah, you would be able to see in Giants Editor, the entire tractor's clean. The hood is MIA. I guess it's probably whitish because we're spreading lime, so. You can spread lime. The other fields that need lime here. Let's double check here. Needs lime. I think we're actually pretty good. We got a couple fields that have some missing spots here. Again, I think that was from our precision farming days. But now that that's about over with, we got some of this stuff cleaned up now. Not really spreading lime on those fields. I mean, I guess we could. You know, if it was precision farming, we could just go out there and just hit those few spots. And it'd be great, but that's not unfortunately how it works here without precision farming. Without precision farming, we're going to spread lime across the entire field, wasting all kinds of lime. Like, why not, right? Okay, we'll just park that there. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Let's head back down to the planter here. We're going to get ourselves set up with a custom AB line here. And we need to turn snap terrain angle off. Yes, snap terrain angle. Turn that off, please. And then we're going to set A here. Nope, tractor's already on. Whoops. Probably should actually lined up a little better before I set A. Oh well. A is set yet, right? Thought it was. Set A. There we go. And at least this way I went, rather than, and the planter's off. Okay, well, we're recording an AB line. We're not, leave it off. We'll come back past that one. Let's finish recording a line here. Quick a minute. Go down to the opposite end of the field here. And we should have a relatively accurate angle for this, although it is kind of curved, so probably not going to be the greatest. Yeah, it's not going to be the greatest, but what are you going to do? Okay, set B. What's the field number on this? Field 89. Let's call it field 89 angle. And get a width on that. Little wide. Might have to narrow that up here just a little. See what this looks like here in this first pass. Okay, let's start planting. Yeah, looks like that actually might work. I say GPS usually is pretty good about getting the correct width for implements. And I've said this before too. It's kind of funny sometimes, Evan, how maybe take like horseplay, for example, will get the width wrong, which is actually fairly not very common, by the way. Horseplay usually gets the width right most of the time. There's a few things it doesn't sometimes. But then there's times where GPS will get it right, horseplay doesn't, or vice versa, right? Where GPS gets it wrong and horseplay gets it right. Kind of weird how that works. I'm like, it's all the same mod. How does one get it right and one get it wrong? I don't know. Don't know. Well, actually, I shouldn't say I don't know. But I've got my suspicions here. My suspicions being, I know in sometimes with these mods, Evan, there are multiple spots you can put information. Don't ask me why Giants does this, Evan. Like, they just do this to be difficult, I think. Because it makes no sense to me. Like, why would you not just have one width, and then that's it? The same thing goes for the horsepower, too, Evan. I've complained about this before, too, when it comes to horsepower. In a mod, Evan, there are 2 spots, I think? 3 spots. There's for sure 2 spots where you can put the horsepower numbers, Evan. There's one up at the top that is absolutely meaningless. Does absolutely nothing. And this, of course, is the one where a lot of people like to change them. People are like, oh, horsepower. We'll type in a few extra zeros to this, right? It does absolutely nothing. There is no horsepower increase there. You actually have to go down to the power section of the mod, and that's where the actual real sort of horsepower, and I say sort of because it's not really a horsepower number. It's a whole bunch of other numbers and math. Yeah, it's quite complicated. Yeah, kind of same thing when it comes to a width as well, but there are multiple widths in a mod. So, I don't know, GPS is listed into one, horseplay is listed into another one, and if a mod author doesn't get them both properly set, yeah, no, it's a mess. It's a mess there, if you ask me. Anyway, let's head over to the comment section in a moment, see what you folks had to say here for last episode. A reminder again, always enjoy reading all your comments, so if you got something to say, throw it down below. Starting off with the first comment here from Hetero. Hetero was saying, a good video. And said, no Farming Simulator 25 hype for me. Oh, come on. No Farming Simulator 25 hype? Hype? Or at least hype to be able to watch some of it anyway, maybe. I know a lot of folks are like, great, new version of Farming Simulator. We'll wait till the mods come out. There's definitely there's a crowd that likes to do that, but people like to wait for the mods to come out, which is somewhat understandable. You know, you lose a lot of the great mods that we have here in Farming Simulator 22 when the game first comes out. Hopefully, I run mod conversion process isn't horrible, so we'll get mods fairly quickly. But even with that being said, I mean, quickly, I'm sure it won't be, day one. There might be some, but if there are, they're usually the simpler mods, right? John was saying the only thing straw is good for is getting manure. You're better off selling the bales and leaving their bedding empty. Great video as always. Hey, thank you very much for that. You know what? That's a good point there, John Luke. Rather than giving the cows all the bales of straw we have, which, again, as I pointed out last episode, we could sell for millions and millions, and yes, I said millions of dollars. We could just leave it empty, and I don't know, would you still get slurry yet? I don't know if you get slurry. Which, not a big deal, because we're not really using the slurry. I mean, we are, but unfortunately, because for some reason we can't pull from the pit of one, we're actually just buying it. So, it's not great, but... Bud was saying you can check what mods are on your game by going to the store and selecting the icon second from the bottom. Second from the bottom, huh? Oh, mods and DLCs. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're talking. Yeah. For those who wondering, there you go. There's the list. Just a handful of mods here. Just a couple here and there. I think I've got most of the DLCs deactivated here at this point. Oh. A lizard. Yeah, it's actually a Ford. Probably a little big for what we're going for on this series, but would be probably a good tractor. Mason was saying you should just buy a semi to truck some grain and then set it up with auto drive. Well, we could certainly do that. I don't know if that really fits in the old style gameplay we got going on here, but... maybe going to something more like a grain truck. Christopher was saying, good video, keep it up. Oh, and I was going to show you folks, too, from, let's see, time-saving stock check here. For those who are wondering about the straw here, the straw itself isn't much. Where is corn stalks? Yeah, we got $1.2 million worth of corn stalks, Evan. So, I don't know, soybean straw... Oh, yeah, we got another $500,000 worth of soybean straw. So, again, kind of my point about the whole straw one. Yeah, we got $1.7 million sitting there. Yeah, pretty much $1.7 million. Brian was saying the conveyal is longer. I've been using that over the west field. Okay, good to know. The conveyal is actually longer. The drunken farmer was asking, where can I get the John Deere 6030? Oh, and we just ran out of seed. No, fertilizer. Just ran out of fertilizer. Oh, soybeans that actually take fertilizer, huh? Oh, let's see. We got a truck somewhere around here that has all this stuff on it. At least it did last time I used it. Haven't actually needed this truck here since the last time we did any plant. Let's see. Yep, we do have fertilizer on there. We have seed. Pretty sure that's fertilizer, right? Pretty sure that's what that is. Going back to the question about the John Deere 6030. Nope, it is not personal. It is public. If you just search for Farming Simulator 22 John Deere 6030, you should have no trouble finding it. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that. You might have some trouble finding it because I think there are two John Deere 6030s. There's the new 6030, and then there's the old 6030. So, yeah, obviously you want to look for the old 6030, which is the one I have. Again, it's public. Just, yeah, gotta find it. Okay. That's close enough. Oh, good. And actually fill up with fertilizer, too, yet. Wow. We actually got it right for a change. What are the chances that Giants will actually finally fix this here in Farming Simulator 25? Again, the issue, everyone, is related to a piece of equipment that holds multiple fill types. In the case of this planter here, this planter holds both seed and fertilizer. And then the issue arises when you go to fill it from something that also holds multiple fill types. So if your planter holds multiple fill types, again, seed and fertilizer, and then you go to the refill building, silo, whatever, and that silo holds multiple fill types, even though it might be like, I've got the one really nice one that has like 5 or 6 silos in it, so it's all separate, but at the same time, the fill point is all the same, right? Yeah, good luck getting what you actually want out of that sometimes, because, you fill up the seed and like, okay, now I need fertilizer. No, the game's just going to keep trying to fill seed. Oh, boy. And then, of course, you got, yeah, don't even get me started on the trucks having that have fuel on them, right? Oh, my. Yeah, that's a whole nother conundrum. Anyway, speaking of conundrums, everyone, we are over time here this episode, so I think we better wrap it up. If folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And as always, Evan, thanks for watching. Until next time.